In the modern society, where the family unit is under threat, Life Destiny TV seeks to bring the whole family together at any time of the day, enriching every member using Christian values and principle. That is our vision. Connect with us on social media.
Welcome, amazing, beautiful woman to the studio.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you here. But I would like you guys to introduce yourself, starting with Miss Ntabi this side.
Okay, I'm Ntabi Monsum Goma. I'm the founder of Soul Inspiration Global, an organization that empowers women and young people.
Yeah.
I am also a founder of a powerful program called Lesedi Life Skills Program, which takes care of the youth and their needs.
Okay.
We actually cater for their life skills needs. We offer programs in that regard. We offer audiobooks as a take-home for those youth.
Okay.
But yeah, more than work and being an author and being a life coach, you know, I'm a wife to a wonderful husband, my king, Mr. Mzim Goma, and a mother to not only our 7 beautiful kids, 2 handsome boys and 5
girls,
beautiful girls.
Nice.
But I'm a mother to the whole nation, if I may put it like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I do, really.
That's a lot.
There's a lot.
You wear a lot of hats here.
I do. But one of my passions, really, also over and above what I've mentioned, is the fact that I am a TV show host.
Yeah. Yes.
And
I know that.
and I'm passionate about women empowerment.
Yeah.
Hence my show, Women Arise with Power.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Oh, great! Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Ausi Kabona.
Thank you so much. My name is Matapelo Mokatsani. I'm the founder and CEO of Umpimezi Consulting. I'm a mother of 1 handsome young man living with asparagus autism. I am a coach.
Yes.
I'm an empowerment coach. I'm an empowerment speaker. I'm also an author. I come with my background. I was in the industry corporate for about 17 years. Only now recently launching myself into coaching. Especially empowered because, especially in the workplace, we sometimes tend to especially with women, it can be a bit disempowering in some sectors. So it's my passion to empower women to, stand up and be counted, be seen in the corporate space in particular. And not only that, also in private as well, so that we can, we are here to
I like to
empower each other.
Because
so whether we like it or not,
those empowering women.
Exactly. So I'm very much for empowering women.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. Doctor.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Esther Sibandelu Senga, married to Teboho Lusenga, blessed with 2 girls.
Yes.
Those are my friends.
Yes.
I'm an education specialist. Actually, I'm from the education background. But during my spare time, I'm a mentor for university students. There are different universities that I'm working with and mentoring the 4th year BF students. Thank you.
Guys, you can hear, and I've got empowered women in the studio. So while we're talking about empowerment, guys, what led you to be where you are now? Like, what's your journey to become a doctor, to become a coach, to become a TV host, and a director of so-and-so companies? What led you to be like now?
Phew, what a question.
Yeah.
I think I'll plainly put it like this. Life's circumstances led me to be where I am today.
Okay.
I look at my life right now and I'm thinking, did I ever imagine that I'd actually find myself in this space?
Sure.
Having to grow up in the township, and having to travel a long distance, going to school, coming back, with no money to go to school, like no money for transport, no money for lunch, parents struggling, trying by all means to give us education, with the little that they had, You know, I remember my dad was only earning $300 a week,
Yeah.
but he'll make sure that every Friday we eat chicken licken,
Sure,
you know,
man.
just to reward us. I remember growing up, my mom would tell me, you know what, retloja papali cabbage, we're going to have pap and cabbage.
Yeah.
But let me tell you,
Yeah.
our tummies will be full like those people who had, you know,
Chicken and
Nando's and
sure.
whatnot,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I grew up in that environment, and fast forward to my life, I matriculated, you know, I then became pregnant at the age of 19.
Okay.
And life seemed not to be going very well
To
for
favor
me.
you in
So
a
you can
way.
imagine
Yeah.
the stigma that comes with being 18, mom, you are not working,
Yeah.
and the father of your child is nowhere to be found,
Yeah.
you know? And to a point where when he comes back, I get married. And I'm the wife of this now minister of the Methodist Church, and enduring abuse all these times.
Oh my God.
And having to leave everything behind,
Yeah.
you know, and all you can imagine, Ms. Hauli Mama Ruti, when you are married to a pastor, you have everything, like, you know, elders kneel before
Yeah,
you,
that's
you
true.
know, it becomes for other people, it's like you are bigger, you know, you are great. But
Yeah.
for me, it was, I could not even contain it. It always used to humble me. But Coach Toriso, then it came to a point in my life when I could not, you know, stick into
Bear
this
with that, yeah.
marriage
Yeah.
anymore, and I decided to leave. And let me tell you, the leaving and the struggles and the challenges that came with that, having to come back with nothing, but only my kids.
Yeah.
Having to ask my parents to take care of my kids while I go and re-establish myself.
Shame, man, yeah.
In the journey of re-establishing myself, I've got 2 other kids.
Get you.
Now I get 4 kids. I've got 4 kids, right?
All right, okay.
And you can imagine how the family would actually even, you know, look at you and say, Yini,
What's
Tangala, what's your
yeah.
problem? You know, busy making
Yeah,
babies.
yeah.
But it was not actually that. I won't dwell much into
that, yeah.
part,
Yeah.
but the reason why I'm bringing this up
Yeah.
is I think God was preparing me for this time.
Okay.
Because that was the moment when I had to learn very fundamental life's lessons.
Sure.
One of them was to actually accept the situation that I was
it
in
is.
at that point in time. Secondly, I had to learn to forgive myself and the person that had hurt me. Thirdly, I had to understand that I cannot do things on my own accord and my power. So I remember I took a decision. It was one night when I had nothing. It's me and only my kids, 4 kids,
Yeah.
taking care of them alone. And I said, Lord, I've been told many times that I'm intelligent, but my intelligence has failed me so many times.
Yeah.
Right now, I want to stick with you.
I need
and
you.
this is what I said.
Yeah.
Ngicela ukukuschema.
Okay.
I just want to see
Yeah.
what you have in store
Where
for
you
me.
gonna take me? Yeah.
And I all I can say is the rest is history. That is when my real life journey
change now.
that had to deal with me. It was not easy.
Yeah.
It was not nice.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, I wouldn't have had it in any other way
Than the
but
way
the
it
manner
was.
in which I had it.
I like
so,
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it is
I
because
like
of...
that. I like that. Because if it's
The
true, they say
circumstances.
that in love there's nothing, regret nothing, but learn from everything.
Yeah.
So whatever that you went through, you've taken all the lessons out of it.
Yeah.
It didn't make you a better woman. It made you somebody better.
Yeah.
I love that. I am taking that. Guys, how did we get here? Doctor, what led you to actually to become a PhD, a graduate, a doctor? What's your journey to that?
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. As my sister said, life circumstances. Life circumstances are the one that will push you.
Yeah.
Firstly, I'm from Soshanguve. I'm
I'm
a Kasi girl. And you
Yeah.
know, when you grow, there are those pressures.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are the teen.
Yeah.
The family that you are from, you are raised by a single parent. You are 6 in a family. You are the last born.
Yeah.
And there are lots of things that are happening around.
Yeah.
For example, when I was in primary school, I remember during lunch, I have to go home.
Yeah.
And when I arrive home, my mother will cut tomato
Shame,
into
man.
4 pieces and say, here's tomato.
Hey, that's
She's
for lunch.
84 years.
Yeah.
She's still alive. she also reminded me last time when I was home. Yeah. She said she used to call me Piningi. You understand those circumstances, those challenges, going home, eating tomato. Yeah. When I was in high school, the friends that I met, those were the friends from a families. During lunch they will go to shop to buy plates. But now I will choose to go home because I don't have that money. So those kind of things, they will push you and tell yourself that this life, I don't want to live this life anymore.
I like that.
When I reached my tertiary level, I remember very well, I had 3 jeans and 5 t-shirts. My brother was a tavern owner, so he used to have those freebies, t-shirts, thrown bow, crown, whatever, and then he'll give me those t-shirts. Hence I have my 3 jeans and then I will change. But what I've learned is that I must not look at the material things. What I need is to uplift myself, come out of this situation. Yes. And then as a result, I ended up being a teacher, though it was not my choice. I wanted to be a social worker. But when I look at my results, I said, no, I'm not going back to school again. To improve my subjects there and there, I have to move forward. So I went for teaching. I started with my diploma. So as a teacher, I didn't teach for more than 6 years because I told myself that I'm here for teaching. I love children. These are my children. But one thing, I still need to go further. So I end up at the education department. Hence I was there. I'm in technology. I'm dealing with e-learning. So I realized that when coming to technology, women are not so much into technology. Then I started with my honors in ICT, my master's in technology and PhD in technology, dealing with digital school curriculum. That's how I ended being a doctor. Thank you.
I like that. Empowered woman, empowered woman. She had to uplift herself from the struggle that she was. So the struggle actually pushed you even further. I am taking that. Ausmatapelo, please. We have like 3 minutes before the break.
Yes, I feel like they've actually spoken about my life as it is. Not much to say. Wow, the last born of the house, I come from a very interesting background. My father was 17 years older than my mother. My mother had 1 child when they got married. My father obviously came with 5 kids and I became the one in the middle. However, my story is it's actually encapsulated in loss. The story I tell about in my book where I say I actually came into the midst of loss. Because my mother had lost 4 children. So the first child in the marriage, the child died on the first day, on that same day, so when he was born, and then there were 3 miscarriages thereafter. And I was the 4th, I was supposed to be the 4th miscarriage, so I'm a 6 months premature. And not only that, my father passed on when I was 7 years of age, my mother when I was 24, my sister when I was 19. So I was just, in this whole mess of losses. And the worst loss of it all was myself in the process of that. And I realized that almost my entire life, right? It's about until 2 years ago when I started writing the book. My mother, up until 2 years ago, my mother had passed about 20 years by the time. But when she died, I refused. I literally, intentionally refused to grieve because I thought I was going to die. The pain of just, going through that was just way too much. And remember, she passes on. She was the only one now. I'm left all by myself to go through life all by myself. So, and in the process of that, I have my son who also came on the same day. He was dead for the first 5 minutes of his life. So it was just too much, a whole lot of losses. But it's only until, like I said, 2 years ago, when I started writing the book, when I realized something is wrong, because I was in this loop. I found myself in this loop where things were just not working. I started with a diploma myself in analytical chemistry, not something that I wanted. It was actually my second choice. The one that I wanted, my mother was very strict, so every time I went to that one, it was just almost limited amount of students. And anyway, cut a long story short, got myself into the industry. So she passes just as I started working. So for almost the rest of my adult world, in a sense, I was alone until my son came along. But now what I realized is that I was not comfortable. I was not grounded in my work environment, in my workspace. Something was always missing. There was just something not right. So in the process of that, I started really like, empowering myself in going through to seminars, listening to empowering speeches and reading books. And then I realized that I think this was more like, I feel like the journey that I'm on chose me.
Okay.
In my unconscious, the journey chose me. Yeah. So when you realize it's like, because I was counting, I was like almost 15 years. For 15 years, I was preparing myself to where I am. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey. So
guys, you've heard it from her coach herself. She said in the process of losing other people, she ended up losing herself. So I am sure that when one gains herself up again, that is actually empowerment to self. So on that note, guys, we are coming right up to hear more about this empowering woman. I'm already empowered myself based on each and everybody's stories here, right? So stay tuned. We're going to see you after the break. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. I've got empowering women here in the studio. So we are talking about empowered women empower others, right? So from your journey and from your experience or based on your perception, what is empowerment according to you?
I would put it in a sense of knowing thyself.
Okay.
And obviously taking it from the context of, like I said, I'd lost myself my entire life.
Yeah.
Because remember, from my perspective, every person that you are with, a parent, a sister, a brother, a child, is an aspect of you. That is where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Now, having have lost almost everyone, I felt like every part of me left with them.
Okay.
So for almost 20 years, especially with my mother, for almost 20 years, I was just drifting. I was just going nowhere. Going nowhere slowly and yet going somewhere.
Okay.
So it was quite a confusing time in my space. I'm in a corporate space. I'm trying to empower myself in the corporate space. I also want to go up the corporate ladder. But I found myself going through studying degrees that are relevant to that space. Not necessarily what I want to do, but it's because the space was dictating to me what I need to do.
Okay.
And yet in the core of who I am, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I don't know where I want to go. I just know that this is not it.
Okay.
But I'm doing it for the sake of doing it because I'm here.
Okay.
So, and when I went into coaching, that's when I really, almost for me, recovering myself from wherever aspect that I had lost myself. So it almost like I was literally shattered, you know. I was taken as a bowl, put it, thrown on the floor, and I had to, in my journey in terms of grieving for the past 2 years, it's like I was collecting each and every aspect of me, each and every part of me that was broken and putting it back together and finding myself all over again. And I realized that, because in the process of that, it also got me, learning more about energy, especially and in terms of energy healing.
Yeah.
That in every aspect of who we are, energy is everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. You know, we always say energy is everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything is energy actually. So every aspect of me that I had lost, it was a part of my energy that I needed to recall back to myself, so that I can be whole, and only then be able to can help the next person. Because if I don't know who I am, where I'm going, what I'm doing.
So empowerment to you is basically more of getting to know who you are first.
Exactly, because this is the thing. How do I help another person? How do I share space with you? In a marriage, in a relationship, however shape or form it is, when I don't know who I am, I don't know how to love myself. And I expect you to love me, but I don't know how to love myself. No wonder
so
we
unfair.
have. It's so unfair. It really is. I don't know what makes me happy. Why can't I find that happiness within me? Despite expecting it from other people. Can I just be in my own joy, in my own? Because when during that time, especially with my son now, discovering that he was autistic and what else, for the longest of time when I didn't know, it was so sad because I'm not in my own right space. This child is acting up. I don't know what's wrong with this child. And I was to it was such a very painful experience, and I believe even for him. And it's only when I started healing. Today we have such a beautiful relationship with my son. We actually play. We're having fun at his age. He's 17, but sometimes him and I will be playing like small little kids. For the first time, he's enjoying what it is to be my son. And I want to put it to me, not to him, but I wanted to put it to me because it was so it was just not nice, you know, being me, and put it like that. It was just not nice being me, even coming from myself. So I had to find myself first, so that I was able to
I like that. Empower oneself to empower others. Doctor, what is empowerment to you?
Okay, thank you, Coach. Let me start by saying empower. Power.
Yes.
You understand the word power.
Yes.
And I like what she has alluded, that understand yourself first in order to understand what is empowerment. Since I know where I come from, I understand what is empowerment. I'm working with the students who needs love, who need love, who need courage, who need to be empowered. So I know what are their needs. I've been empowered and I need to empower others. As a specialist, education specialist, I'm working with a lot of teachers who needs to be where I am. So who's supposed to empower them? Who's supposed to live them? I'm the one who's supposed to empower them and live them. How am I going to empower them? I know all the steps, all the challenges that I've encountered in order to be here. Yes. So for me, it's simple, and I like it to empower other people. I want to see myself as somebody who's lifting people's standards, you understand, to be where they want to be.
I think hence why you are a mentor. Because what you're talking about is basically mentoring others to come to the scale of where you are. And at the same time, not limiting yourself to just leave it here, but you still want to go even further, I like that. I like that. Yes, ma'am.
You know what? I'd like to fully concur with what my sisters are really saying. Can I just take 8 different paths in actually analyzing empowerment, and before actually dwelling on the word empowerment itself? There can never be empowerment without any type of loss. She's just mentioned that in the past 2 years when she was grieving, she actually was now taking every part of her that was lost, you know, while she was losing people. In her case, she was losing people who were close and dear to her. But I can tell you right now, there's people who actually have lost something. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be finances, any aspect of your life, children, you know, friendships, you know, some sort of loss that happens. But now what I've gathered is the magic in loss, because whenever it happens, everything shuts down. You won't even get to see empowerment. Maybe subconsciously you would know you need empowerment, but you don't know at that point in time that at that space of loss, at that space of grieving, where you actually got conscientized that you are actually gathering pieces of yourself. Now it is actually a very powerful position of empowerment. That's where the muse and the journey of empowerment starts. And I'm saying this because when I look back in my life, it was at that point when I had self-isolated with the aim to grieve, you know, every other aspect of loss that I had lost in my life, emptying myself, wanting to receive something. You talk about positive energies, you know, that you would want to attract. You know, you pray, you know, you just want to now understand yourself. Let me tell you, when empowerment happens, it is when you actually have found your purpose. And you can never find your purpose in a space of complacency and, you know, a beautiful space. It definitely has to be down, 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 like, you know, a rock, a precious rock that is hidden, you know, under the rocks, not even the soil. And when it gets exhumed out of that space, it is you now when you are actually going through these losses, these challenges. But the powerful part is that you don't become an instant empowered person like, you know, Malta-Bella meal that like you just microwave things. You actually get to understand as you travel the journey of healing and finding yourself. You know, you get to understand the power that lies within you, and you don't get to rely on your own power, but you get to rely on this, you know, higher power that, you know, you can't even see it with your own eyes, but you actually can see with everything else that is happening around you. Now, then what happens is that when you are after that journey, after that space of having to find yourself, that's when the self-empowerment comes. Because it's easy for us to talk about empowerment and say we want to empower each other as women. But if you don't understand the pain and the journey of another person, it will be that microwave empowerment where once you've empowered somebody, now it's actually over. But it's actually a journey that has an art in it. And it cannot be really understood. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that. When somebody comes to me as a life coach and they need to be empowered with something, you know, it's very rare. I don't say I will take you by hand. Understanding that in me empowering you, I'm still also on the journey of empowerment. It's an unending journey. Do you understand? And as I coach you and say, 1, 2, 3, you need to do, right? I am saying to you, I've empowered you to actually do what is right in order to get into that journey, while I'm also establishing myself in what God has given me so that I become a better person. So you can never empower out of a clear and a beautiful space. You can get empowerment after being, you know, gone through all the challenges, but also over and above that, it is when you have actually gone through the grinding and everything else really that comes with it, which is not so nice, that will then enable you to become, to empower others.
You talk like it's easy to just allow the process of struggle to enable me. And there might be somebody at home right there saying, I hear what they're saying, but they don't know my issue. They don't know my struggle. They don't know what I have been through. And here you are, you're telling me again to endure even further for me to be empowered. How do I do that?
No, you know what? I actually loved. There's something I saw on Facebook. I think it was like a week ago, right? This person says, if you are reading this message and you are going through challenges, I pray that you actually go through those challenges and embrace them.
Go through them.
And let me tell you, as painful as it is, I'm that type of a person who will say, you know, even my husband, there's a lot of people that would come to us and we help a lot of people, right? But there's people where you actually can see that there's a hand of God in this. You can't interfere with what God is doing with these people. Babes, let's stay out of this. This is not ours. This is God dealing with their own.
Don't stand in the way of God.
Don't stand, because this one is being actually refined. This one is going through refining, and they have to embrace the journey. And if somebody can want to polish you and nourish you to say, no, man, sorry, I'm not a sorry type of person. I'm a person that will say, go through the journey because it is your journey. But when you come out of it, you're going to come out of it strong.
I love that, but it's not that easy.
No, but then, okay, just to add on that, like I like you mentioned a lot about life's lessons. And I believe this is the one thing that also speaks to me. Throughout my journey with refusing to grieve, and I want to emphasize that, refusing to grieve. Because some of the times that we go through things that we don't want to learn, we don't want to go through those lessons. And especially when you start going into blaming other people, that's where the problem comes in. Like I said, I was scared to cry. If there's anything I've ever been scared about, my entire life was crying. My mother passed in 1999. 2011, I found myself in a space where I think that was the first time when grief was enough of me. Grief was now coming to the door, was on the door to say, now we need to deal with this thing. I remember saying to a friend of mine, you know, I wish somebody could just give me a bed so I sleep for 6 months, and when I wake up, the thing is gone. I don't know what it is. Something, and you don't know what it is, right? And lo and behold, I found myself one day in some funeral. I went with somebody to a funeral. I don't know who the person is being buried. And here I find myself crying like a baby.
You can't run away, can you?
Wasn't it a man?
No, let me tell you. It was a man, but it had nothing it was like such a far off funeral.
I think the hidden emotion.
No, I'm sorry, Ne. I'm just saying this because you can imagine you are in this funeral, you're crying, and there's a man that's dead and the wife is sitting there.
It's like, why is this one crying so much?
Exactly. You know? But it was not even that kind of a funeral type of a thing. But the point is, I cried so hard. And I didn't understand why, especially the fact that I don't know this person. I don't even know anything about what is going on here. But in the process, I found myself laughing at myself at the same time while I'm crying as I walked to the car because I felt very weird. But this is what I did. After that, I stopped going to funerals because funerals make me weird. Why would I want to go and subject myself to that all over again?
That feeling again.
But this is the thing, I wasn't learning. I wasn't taking into account what life was telling me. I wasn't taking into account what grief was telling me.
Definitely.
There's a part I talk about in the book where I had to learn to cry myself through, which was my breakthrough. I had to learn to cry myself through my grieving process because that is the one thing I refused to do. Earlier on, after my mom's passing, I think for the very first year, I made sure I was intoxicated every night. Just so that I don't find myself in that moment and space of thinking, feeling anything. So it was more about, if I can just put my head on the pillow, I'm gone. Tomorrow morning, I'll deal with whatever I need to deal with, just as long as I don't get myself there. Okay. So sometimes that's the thing. We don't allow our lessons to come through. And it makes it difficult for us to be empowered.
Viewers out there, I hope you guys are being unleashed in it. I mean, these amazing people, they are talking about their breaking points. And they are saying to you, allow yourself to be broken. Allow yourself to feel whatever that you're feeling. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to be upset, But just know that it is grooming you to become somebody better. So just hang ten. Just know, Hore, it's not over until you are actually breaking through what is holding you up down. On that note, we're gonna be talking more about this. We are coming right up. Welcome back, guys. So, my amazing, beautiful, empowering woman, do you think as Black women, I'm just going to make it deliberate. Do you think us as Black women, we're empowering other people or other women out there? Or do you think, or you see a progress of us empowering others? Doctor?
Well, thank you, Coach. As you have indicated, which is no, as what I'm trying to say is that empowerment doesn't go hand in hand with selfishness. Those two things are not friends. They don't relate.
Sure.
Yes. As I've indicated that I'm in an education department, I'm more of academic things. Ne?
Yeah.
There are lots of women that are behind me.
Yeah.
Others are far.
Ahead of me.
Yes, ahead of me because of I've empowered them.
Nice.
As I said, don't be selfish. In most of the programs that I do, if a person wants to apply at the university, for example, masters, remember you have to do some applications in order to have an entry. I do assist lots of women.
Nice.
Yes, and they are out there watching.
Yes.
They know that, oh, I'm in this university because after that, you have to write your proposal. I go a journey with them from application, proposal, research until the end. So if I was selfish, I believe that somebody out there was not going to be at the level that she wants to be. So asingacindezelani singabo mama, let's leave others. Whatever, and it's not a matter about academic only. Even a post, when you see a post by advertising on a TV, on a paper, give another woman, you know this woman needs a job, or if doesn't need a job, has the capability or qualification that suited. Share that information with those women. Bursaries, when bursaries are out, I'm the one who shout first and indicate to my colleagues, say, check, there are bursaries out there. And specifically, women, Black women.
I like that.
I raise them. Thank you.
That. Because we need to support each other, whether we like it or not. And at the same time, I like it that because of, in a way, you are even passing the baton to the others. And I'm hoping the women that you have empowered, they are empowering others as well. And I like when you say that selfishness and empowering does not go hand in hand. Other people, they'll come to a point where they'll say, she must go through what I went through. I did not sweat for nothing. Therefore, she must struggle as well. Yes. But I like what you just said, that you actually opening doors for other people out there. At some
point, I have to compromise for my family and look at somebody else's needs and assist. Put my family aside, put my work aside, put my study aside, trying to help somebody.
I like that. I like that. Ms. Ngoma, how are you? Okay, you are an empowerment woman. You are dealing with empowerment from youth till there. Do you think we are having enough of people empowering others though? When you go through, when you are invited to speaking or when you do your programs, do you find that actually as Black people, we are actually empowering others, or we still?
You know, it's a serious conundrum really, because I look at it in two ways.
Yeah.
Us black women, we've got a category of those women who are empowering each other to be drunkards and to do nasty things.
I hear you.
And I'm not saying in a bad way.
I hear you, though.
Right?
Yeah.
And we have women who are empowering each other and put money aside to go and buy groceries in December for something that will come into your stomach and leave elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
And that is why I'm looking at that as like short-sighted empowerment, right?
Sure.
I dream of a space and a time for us African women where we will say, okay, there's about 500 of us and we all don't have properties. Let us each put aside 1,000 rand per month so that we can acquire land and actually cut that land for each and every one of us to be able to have decent and proper housing. I look forward to a day where we can actually say it's the 10 of us or the 20 of us and we can actually put aside 2,000 rand a month to boost your business as a woman. And as we boost your business, you can enable other women to go and, to work for you. And you create employment. I look forward to a day where when we empower each other as women, we are not seen as you think you're better, we get a bit there. But I mean, of course, of course, you're in a better position. But I'm just saying that it gets twisted in a way where you're reaching out and you want to empower this person who may come to you and say, I want you to empower me, but they actually want to be used, as a tool, or they're turning themselves into something that will then devour you or destroy you. And I don't want us to be naive. It's all nice to be on talk shows and talk about women empowerment.
Sure.
This is what I do, this is what I do. But let's talk about the realities out there of women who are still pulling each other down.
Tell me about it, yeah.
Of women, I remember when you came and we did the masterclass, the TV show masterclass. Yeah. And a lot of things that I was sharing with you are the things that are part of my journey, right? But it is impossible to have a replica of each and every one of us because there's millions of us, almost 60 million in South Africa, that need some sort of empowerment. And if there's a lot of us who are empowering other people in our own rights in different spaces, then it's not something that you should look at in business terms as competition. Aguna competition la. It's you working your journey, fulfilling your purpose to do what you're supposed to do, and each and every one of us alike. So in my space of empowerment, I empower women. My husband will tell you of women, even when I did my other talk show on one of the TV stations, Fat and Said, where I'd literally take a woman out of their house with their hand, pack their clothes, and they leave a toxic space for them to be empowered, At some point, I would encourage women to say, if you're not leaving this space, you're going to die, especially right now looking and, when you look at the needs, when I do the needs analysis during the COVID times and everybody else being affected, but no one is paying attention to the youth, maybe we need to talk after this. And we then created an audio book that will help these young people, even as they go through the journey of schooling, having to go home to frustrated parents who have lost their jobs. How do these children cope, So empowerment is not only about giving your neighbor sugar, but it's about showing your neighbor how to do it and buy that sugar.
I like that. That is actually enabling a person, because of some people they see empowerment as giving. Okay, sorry to say this, but in a way, our government, they keep feeding people. There's nothing wrong with feeding, right? But people will always be here, always be coming to say, can I have more and more?
It messes up the mind.
Yeah, but I believe if one person is empowered, you've actually enabled them to do things by themselves. And I think there's mostly of coaching. Coaching is like that. Is I'm not gonna give you what you need, but you will tell me what you need to go to where you want to go.
Look, I earn 350 rands grant. I don't know how much it is. Maybe it's 350 or 400, right? Yeah. I earn that amount. Yeah. And me in earning that amount, I was so proud when I read an article, I think it was a week ago, of a young woman who has actually started her own business with the grant money. And if a lot of women can stop standing on the queue with an intention
just
to consume,
receive,
you know, but have an intention to say, you know what, this 350 comes once a month.
Sure.
If I can take about 100 rands and sell ice or Simba chips or whatever, you know, I don't have to keep begging somebody for bread. At least I'll be able to buy myself bread, you know, and grow gradually.
I like that.
From
that
that space. Think about it. I sell ice, like ice pops, right? And as you, when you talk about empowerment now, you're no longer talking about one rent that is coming in, but you're talking about doing things, little things, you know, empowering yourself with branding.
You're multiplying,
you know, and the packaging and putting the same contents inside and negotiating with your local stores to say, can I supply you? You know, you have to think out of the box and actually eventually maybe go to retail stores. I'm just saying that you don't have to have money. Empowerment is not only about money. Empowerment is about enabling, like you just said.
Use what you have, what you have.
I wanted to add to say, last week Saturday I had a talk. It was a women's event, and one of the most powerful things that came for me once I really started getting into coaching, being coached myself, was learning to use what I have. Going back to an issue of not necessarily having to have money to do anything. I talk a lot. That's why I'm a speaker. It doesn't take a cent out of me to say anything. To talk. You know, but also finding so many other ways of expressing yourself. I express myself in writing. I express myself in coaching sessions, which also includes speaking. So sometimes being empowered, understanding who you are. That's why for me, it takes me back to first knowing myself, knowing what I have. Because if I don't know what I am or who I am, I may not even know what I need to be empowered.
I'm just going to chip in a bit, you know. When we talk empowerment, it does not mean that when you empower people, you've arrived. I think we also have to be cognizant of the fact that we are developing beings, and it's something that will happen until we grow old, you know. And it's very important that when we are in that space also of empowering other people, may we not deem ourselves as, you know, the holier than thou, so the saints. You know, my husband is so pro education. During COVID times, we had to take courses at Udemy, these online courses, and we were also attending at UJ, and we graduated, you know. The importance of investing in thyself.
I like
it can be through knowledge, it can be through going to a spa and just go sit there and relax, you know, with your ladies, you know, over a glass of wine, and just, you know, catching up and reconnecting and sharing our journeys and, you know, talking and debriefing. Because we need that, you know, and be able to actually come back strong every time, because we cannot always give, because definitely we will actually be, you know, empty eventually. But as we give out, let us just fill ourselves in. As we give out, can we just fill ourselves in?
I like that.
Sorry, just to add on that, like I said, when I was talking to these ladies regarding such things, and I think a lot of them got a lot of aha moments to say, you know, every time we have this excuse, I don't have money, I need money, I have to do so many things that requires money. And as it is, we're wasting so much money. This is part of empowerment. We've got so much money that we're wasting on social media. Just going there, playing, scrolling, and doing so many things. When you could have taken that money and literally enroll for an online course that is free, right? It's an online course that is free. Rather than just playing on social media, actually learn online with that very same data that you would be wasting on any other social platform. You can do something. That is for you part of you empowering yourself. But my view in terms of empowerment as well as that is, again, I go back to the issue of knowing yourself. I realize that you ask the question, do women empower each other? We empower each other all the time, 24/7. Only thing is, how do you yourself want to be empowered? Because sometimes for me, it starts with you. It really starts with you. Like the saying says, you can't take a horse to the water and make it drink, right? And again, going to an issue of aid grants, you know, to some extent also taking responsibility of realizing that even in our own spaces, which is disempowering, enabling disabling behaviors. Enabling disabling behaviors, right? So that's you know, just always receiving and without actually giving back yourself. It's disempowering. How is it that I can empower you with that 350 to make more for yourself so that you can also, even if empowerment just feeds your family, at least you woke up, you rose up for you to be able to can feed your family.
And Coach Chorizo, I have a serious problem though. Like, please, ladies, can we just not shut our mouths about this, right? I have a problem with women abadlisi club yabafazi, right?
Which what?
No, you like there's women babajisang the club of us.
Hey,
women. And I'm saying this because we still have a group of women who are saying that I want to be taken care of by a man. You know, I want him to give me money for weave on a monthly basis.
Allowance.
And allowance. For what?
For what?
For makeup.
Yay.
And for clothing. And for the nails. And for and
all to
no, listen to this one. I don't want a man without a car, yet you don't even have a license yourself. Can we be fair and be frank with our counterparts? You cannot want to have what you cannot have, what you cannot give. You know, I think it's time we talk about these things to say, ladies, you hate us all you can, but you must go and do something for yourself. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter the circumstances you are in, get out there. Do something for yourself and stop burdening other people's kids.
I love
you know,
it.
they also have needs. You know, it is our job. When I read my Bible on Proverbs 31 from verse 10, it tells me about a virtuous woman. And I strive days, like I strive, you know, to actually become that woman. Because I know it's my job. I want any woman out there, and I challenge any woman out there to tell me one verse in the Bible that shows me, that says that a man is a provider. Then maybe.
Always receiving.
Maybe.
On that note, guys, I hope you've got that. I hope you had that. Yes, doctor?
Yes. What I've noticed, again, that I didn't mention, is that during the empowerment process, myself or any other person who's empowering somebody else, you gain something. Nothing's taken away from you. You are empowered to in another way that you don't notice. So let's keep on empowering others.
I like that. How do we get hold of you, ladies? How do people connect with you? Ntabi?
Okay, I've got my social media handle. It's on Facebook, Ntabi Monsumgoma.
Okay.
I also have a page.
Okay.
ntabim.com.
Okay.
Okay, my website, I've got two websites.
Okay.
www.ntabim.com.
All right.
And www.lesedilifeskills.com.
All right.
If anybody wants to get hold of me, my email address is ntabi@ntabim.com.
I like that. Thank you so much. Yes,
Yes, on 4 platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, I'm Matapelo Mukazane. And then if you want to order my book or even coaching sessions or speaking engagements, you can use any of those platforms, the messenger, or on WhatsApp, 082-757-0317.
Doctor?
Facebook, Esther Sibande. And then my WhatsApp number is 083-384-7718.
Great. Guys, you've had their contacts, right? That's where they're available at. And then I like this whole show, that's so empowering to me. And there's a statement that says that they want you to do better, but not better than them. That is witchcraft. There's also a statement that says that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So ask yourself right now, if you are going far, just make sure that you empower others so that we can go even more further. From myself, Coach Chorizo, guys, I'll see you next time.